abandoned dome houses in southwest Florida. The buildings were made by retired oil producer Bob Lee in Cape Camaro in Florida, and were designed to run on solar power and be self-sustaining. He built the house as a vacation for him and his family. The house was completed in 1982, and was valued at $1.5 million. The floors were tile and carpet, the walls painted white, and the rooms had large windows on all sides. 1984 Bill sold the house to another family, but bought it back in 1987. It was constructed to be on the land, but because of land erosion it is now around 60 meters from coast. 1992 The Hurricane Andrew destroyed windows and interior. 2005 Bob Lee sold the building to John Tosto from Naples for $300,000. Tosto intended to renovate the home, and move buildings with crane to higher points so they would be out of water. He estimated he could do that in 3 to 4 months, but unfortunately few months later Hurricane Wilma struck, eroding the coastline and further destabilizing the house's foundation. The country ordered demolition of the project as the building is not safe. He refused to demolish. In 2013 the buildings were sunken 2 meters. Kolmanskop in the Namib Desert. In 1908, the worker found a diamond while working in this area and showed it to his supervisor, the German railway inspector August Stoch. Realizing the area was rich in diamonds, German miners began settlement and starting to exploit the diamond field. Driven by the enormous wealth of the first diamond miners, the residents built the village in the architectural style of a German town, with amenities and institutions including a hospital, ballroom, power station, school, skittle alley, theater and sport hall, casino, ice factory and the first X-ray station in the southern hemisphere, as well as the first tram in Africa. The town started to decline after World War II when the diamond field slowly started to deplete. There was another town hastening which was full of diamonds. Many of the town's inhabitants joined the rush to the south, leaving their homes and possessions behind. The new diamond find merely required scouting the beaches as opposed to more difficult mining. The town was ultimately abandoned in 1956. Once a small but very rich mining village, it is now a tourist destination run by the firm. Due to its location within the restricted area of the Namib Desert, tourists need a permit to enter the town. Pripyat, Ukraine, is a ghost city in northern Ukraine, near the Ukraine-Belarus border. Named after the nearby Pripyat River, the city was founded on February 4, 1970, as the 9th nuclear city in the Soviet Union, to serve the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was officially proclaimed a city in 1979 and had grown to a population of 49,360 people. By the time it was evacuated on the afternoon of April 27, 1986, the day after the Chernobyl disaster. The original plan had been to build the plant only 25 kilometers from Kiev, but the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences, among other bodies, expressed concern that would be too close to the city. As a result, the power station and Pripyat were built at their current locations, about 100 kilometers from Kiev. After the disaster, the city of Pripyat was evacuated in 2 days. A natural concern is whether it is safe to visit Pripyat and the surroundings. The zone of alienation is considered relatively safe to visit, and several Ukrainian companies offer guided tours around the area. At present, radiation levels have dropped considerably, due to the decay of the short-lived isotopes released during the accident. Colombia's haunted Hotel del Salto. As one of the most popular spots for visitors to Bogotá, the luxurious Hotel del Salto in Colombia, was first built in 1923 as a residential mansion for well-known architect Carlos Arturo Tapias. By 1928, the building had opened as a hotel, to welcome wealthy travelers visiting the Tacondama Falls area. This venture was a successful one, as the hotel would be in operation for the next 60 years. Starting in July 1950, The building was to be reconstructed into an 18-floor hotel, but that construction never began and the Hotel del Salto continued to be open until the original structure became too damaged to operate. Tourists gradually lost their interest to the area and the hotel closed in the early part of the 1990s and was left abandoned ever since. Tragically, it was also the scene of several suicides. The fact that many people in the past chose that spot to commit suicide, made others believe that the hotel is haunted. The Maunsell Forts. Part of the Thames Estuary Defence Network, the anti-aircraft tower forts were constructed in 1942, with each fort consisting of a cluster of 7 stilted buildings surrounding a central command tower. When operational, catwalks connected the buildings. Built on land and then transported to their watery homes, the forts were designed by Guy Maunsell, a British civil engineer, later known for innovations in concrete bridge design. Originally there were 3 of these forts, but only 2 are left standing, the Red Sands Fort and the Shivering Sands Fort. After their successful wartime career, the forts were decommissioned in the 1950s. The Namib Fort was badly damaged by both a storm and being struck by a ship and was dismantled in 1959. In the 1960s and 70s, the remaining abandoned forts were famously taken over as pirate radio stations.